what if you could have a crystal ball that you can just look right in and know exactly what you can expect from your retirement? Well, today, we're doing exactly that. We're going to take a peek so that way you can make your plans now and have the best golden years ever. Retirement planning can certainly be stressful, and it's helpful to have certain information so that way you can use that as a foundation and make your plans and, of course, retain your sanity. And today, that's what I'm jumping into. So my suggestion to you, you guys know I'm a big proponent on writing things down and actually using a physical notebook and a pen and not writing things down on your phone. So if you do not have a retirement planning notebook, I strongly suggest that you create one, because it's going to be your strategic guide where you keep all of the information in one place to help you with your planning. So let's jump in. The first important thing to remember is that your social interactions are going to change. So think about it this way. One day you are still going to be in the office and you have your social interactions with your coworkers, and then all of a sudden your first day of retirement, you don't have any of that because they're still moving on and they're still at work, yet you're not. So think of it this way. It's literally going to change 180 degrees, which means that it's important for you to be mindful of the fact that you're going to have to be proactive and schedule some of those interactions. It doesn't mean that you can't schedule lunches with your former coworkers or your family and friends and other important individuals. And that's where some of the planning will come in handy by using your calendar. Just kind of be mindful maybe in the beginning of every month and say, okay, who would I love to see this month and who can I reach out to make those plans? Point number 2, you might actually need to get a part-time job to help with some of the expenses that maybe you weren't prepared for or you didn't expect. But the first one has to do with depending on where you're moving to. If you're going to be staying in your location, you already know everything about housing and what's going on in your community. But if you are one of those folks who says, you know what, when I retire, I really want to move down south because I don't want to deal with the weather anymore. Well, you never know what those expenses are going to be like in Florida, which is exactly what we're doing now. We're doing our research. You might be surprised to know that the water is extremely expensive in Florida, as an example. The cost of homeowners insurance has really skyrocketed in the last couple of years. So unless you know those things, you may not be able to adequately plan for them, and that's why the part-time job may come in handy. Your new location can also have some general costs of living that are much higher than what you can expect. So plan for that. Your healthcare expenses can also change. As you head into your golden years, your health may deteriorate and decline. And of course, you know yourself better than anyone else. So I encourage you to think about what you think is going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years. And if the health costs are going to increase, you may just have to account for that. The next tip is for you to remember that you're going to be going from a saving mentality to a spending mentality. And that's very hard because sometimes people don't realize that's exactly what's happening. So think of it this way. You have been in the saving mode for the last 30 years. You have been working, putting money aside in a retirement plan or in the savings account or somewhere else. And now that you're retired, you're going to start drawing money from those accounts. And that also means that those accounts are going to grow at a slower rate. So don't be surprised and don't be shocked that that's happening, because that is normal. But that also brings me to my next point, that you just need to be a little bit more mindful about budgeting and kind of figuring out what your expenses are every month, so that way you can keep track on your savings and feel comfortable with drawing the money that you need to live on. The next tip is definitely a good thing, and could also be not so good thing depending on how you look at it, is you're going to have a lot more free time that maybe you realize. Or maybe you do realize because you're like, you know what, I just can't wait to retire and do nothing. And I can tell you that in having many conversations with my clients in my real estate practice, it's not most of the time actually a good thing. So in the beginning, it may be fun, but then you also have to realize that it's not something that you're used to. You have worked for 30 to 40 years, you had a routine, and now all of a sudden you're just kind of like floundering. So a few suggestions that I have for you based on my conversations with my clients. So number one, still have a routine. Still get up at the same time. If you want, use an alarm clock and have some kind of schedule that, let's say on Mondays, you're going to be doing laundry. On Tuesdays, you're going to be heading and getting grocery shopping done. On Wednesdays, you have a lunch date. Kind of figure out what is going to be your routine Monday through Friday if you want, and then have Saturday and Sunday for just fun and spontaneous things as an example. The next great tip is to do a smooth transition. Don't think that you're just going to be able to say, I am retired, and be super excited and have everything figured out. You're not going to have everything figured out in just one day from retiring on a Friday and then starting your retirement on Monday. It's going to have to be slow and gradual. And this is where you can implement using a Google Calendar to help you and remind you, having some kind of structure, as I mentioned earlier, having a daily schedule, so that way you still get up and then you have your breakfast and then you have lunch and then maybe you do something else. The next point is going to bring a smile to your face and you're going to say, Yahoo! Your retirement is going to be less stressful because you don't have to deal with a boss anymore. You don't have anyone texting you or emailing you late nights. You don't have any deadlines for projects that you may have to stay up for or work extra hours. You're definitely going to have more time and it's going to be less stressful. And you know what? This is the time for you to kind of pat yourself on the back and say, awesome job. You worked so hard for this retirement and now you get to enjoy it, and it's going to be stress-free. So definitely do that. Go ahead and pat yourself on the back. And here's a bonus tip that I have for you, because everybody that I spoke with about looking into that crystal ball have mentioned this to me, and that is maintaining your health. Because if you don't have your health, it's very hard to have a vacation, to enjoy yoga, to go out and spend time with loved ones, to have lunch with loved ones. So definitely think about this, and you know yourself better than anyone else. So think about where you're going to be in the next 5 to 10 years. Here's how I look at it as a real estate agent with my practice. I, as an agent, can help you downsize, find a vacation home, get a beach house, or get a ski chalet, or get a home in Florida. Let's brainstorm it and let's figure this out. Yet, the body that we have, that we live in, is the only one that we were born with, and it's the only one that is going to carry us into our golden years. And if we don't take care of our body, then our body is not going to be there to help us enjoy and truly enjoy our retirement. So think about that for a second. Your health should be your number one focus and number one importance. And this is what a lot of other clients have told me, that they wish they would have done it sooner. They wish that they focused on it sooner. And here, it does not have to be complicated. I have 2 easy strategic tips for you. Number one, move your body every day for at least 30 minutes and decide what are the most significant things and the things that make sense to you. It could be as easy as just stretching. It could be yoga. It could be walking or running or going on a bike. Decide what's going to make you happy, that you're going to be looking forward to. And tip number 2, before you eat something, think about it. The more processed your food is, the worse it's going to be. So think about what you put into your home, into your physical body, and if it's going to be fueling you and helping your health, or perhaps not so much. There is nothing better than home cooked meals, and I can tell you there's tons of channels that I personally follow on YouTube that have some amazing easy recipes, things that you can make in 15 to 30 minutes that will truly fuel up your body. You can have a truly nutritious and meaningful meal and enjoy your food and help you fuel your body as well. So which one of these tips have resonated with you in this video? Please share them with us in the comments below, so that way we can also forward this information to others and help them have the best retirement as possible.